Welcome to the Navigator Podcast. Welcome to the Navigate Academy, Module 57 podcast. Our guest today is Patrick Britton, one of Navigate's senior consultants. Patrick has 25 years of experience in the audiovisual and visual communications industry, working for large and small systems integrators in roles covering all the facets of the industry, from sales to project management to general manager and CEO. He has extensive experience in corporate leadership with a focus on cultural development, process improvement, change management, and strategic growth. He's been active in the AV industry throughout his career, serving as an instructor for Avixa's Infocom University. Patrick continues to work on his own professional development, including earning a CTSD certification and a Six Sigma Green Belt. Patrick has a passion for helping both individuals and organizations realize their full potential. He's also a certified professional coach with a passion for working with leaders and executives to help them achieve their goals and their potential. Patrick, thanks for joining this module on the 4 Ps.
Brad, always good to be here. Thank you.
You're welcome. So in our webinar, we emphasize the 4 Ps of mature project management: portfolio, project, process, and people. Based on your experience, which of these areas do integrators typically struggle with the most, and where do you see the biggest opportunity for improvement?
Great question, Brad. And I think I start with an analogy. I always compare the 4 Ps to the legs of a bar stool, right? We've got one leg that's sometimes longer than the other, and it wobbles. So whichever the shortest leg is, we want to make that as long as the other leg, so we've got a stable foundation in our project management office. But where I see the biggest opportunity for improvement with our customers is very often in that process phase. Companies tend to think that there are challenges in their projects, but the challenges really come because they don't have a formal process to follow. So there's no good handoffs, no solid handoffs from sales to operations or from operations over to the service team. And then everything feels like it's a very hectic rush. And because of the lack of process, they're not entering that planning and execution phase. They're always in that heroic firefighting phase that we talk about. So I think opportunities.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. I agree with you on that. And then I think we both agreed that portfolio is key, which is why we did a whole Navigate module on portfolio management.
Absolutely, yes. What do we do well? What do we want to do more of? And how do we make sure that we're selling what we're supposed to be successfully executing?
Right. So again, we highly recommend taking that also after you take this one. When it comes to mature project management, what are the top 2 or 3 qualities that set outstanding PMs apart from the rest?
So for me, I'm going to take it beyond the 2 or 3. I've got 4. And the first one, I think, starts with being a confident project manager, right? Believing in yourself. So often in our industry, our project managers come up from being technicians, and they suffer from a little bit of imposter syndrome. So start with confidence, which comes from support from the management team, the executive team, and good proper training. And I think the ability to really, once we have the training, the ability to plan, and then the ability to execute that plan. So devise a plan and follow it through to completion, which aligns with that process conversation that we had a minute ago. So if we have confidence in ourselves based on training and development, the ability to create and execute a good plan with the flexibility to pivot when things don't go according to that plan. And then we wrap that up with the skill of communication, both internal to our team, and then the ability to communicate well with our clients and set and manage expectations. I think if we have all of that, we've got the great foundation for an excellent project manager.
Awesome, thanks. And you're talking about pivoting and change management, change orders, they're inevitable. Whether people want them or not, they're always going to be there. What steps can our industry take to be more proactive and in control of the change order process rather than reactive?
Yeah, I think we feel like we're victims to the change management process, Brent. I think the first step is, as you said, change orders are inevitable. We need to acknowledge that and accept that we work in a construction industry. All the other trades know that change orders are going to happen. It's part of our contracts. It's part of what we do. So accept that change is going to happen. It's not a bad thing. And I think the best thing we can do as we're executing projects is to really make our clients aware that change orders are inevitable, and make that part of the discussion during our client coordination meetings to say, hey, we're kicking this project off. We want you to know that you have the ability to change your mind or the site conditions may change. And when these things happen, we have a remedy or a tool that helps us manage that for both you and I, because change orders are for both parties or all three parties if there's a third party involved. And it's the change order process. And this is how it works. And let's get that out and upfront early, because when I teach project management training classes, Brad, I use the phrase that if the first time your customer hears about a change order is when you give them one,
Right.
you're going to lose that conversation, right? So bring it up
Absolutely.
early, set the expectations, and then execute on it. Be firm and be confident when you bring that discussion forward. Don't be coy. Don't be fearful. Be assertive, not aggressive.
And I think what's key also, and what, I mean, you and I teach project management all over the place, is separate the conversation between change order and cost/price.
Absolutely.
First step, let's all acknowledge this is a change.
Yep.
Now, let's go figure it out.
Yep.
Great. When we talk about approaches to project management, one, and this is company and personal, one is focused on that getting it done, but not quite done.
Yep.
The other is focused or centered on following a structured process, again, a word you've already used, through fruition. So managing scope, time, cost, quality, which consistently leads to higher profitability, smoother execution, and transition to service. Again, one of our key customers as well as our end customer. And then that customer experience of our end customer. Why do you think so many companies struggle to shift from that get her done to doing it right?
Well, and again, you mentioned process. I think it all
Yep.
starts with having a good process. The other challenge is, and I mentioned it earlier, is that a lot of our project managers have grown up in the industry from installation technician, maybe carrying other roles, and then we promote them to project manager without having a process and without providing them the training, the support, and the development that they really need to do it. So they fall into project management from a technician mindset. I'm given a task and I have to do it,
Right.
and they don't have that planning mindset. They don't know about planning because they haven't gotten any training. So I think the one of the best things an organization can do is they're looking at building out their project management office. And I think that's key as you start to get more than two or three project managers, is to have a project management office that has a process and builds out standards, is to make sure that they're developing that talent, developing the talent before they even become project managers, identifying it early, providing them with some training, and then circling back. I think part of the lessons learned process that we talk about often isn't just about what we could do to save more money, but what can you as a project manager learn to get better at your job as we move forward? And that might be something that we identify not just for that one individual project manager, but if we see it for them, maybe it's an opportunity for growth for the whole team.
Absolutely. And I think extending the relationship from a company perspective, again, that getter, I got the project
Yep.
done. Great, but did you serve your service department? Did you
Yep.
actually give the customer something that they can use that's well documented, that meets all their needs? And then what is that 10-year life cycle about? So I think, again, just that perspective of a project's 3 months, we're in the relationship for another 10 years. Did we set that up for success?
Yep. I mean, the other thing I see that companies struggle with, Brad, is project managers. We ask them to manage the project without having any visibility to where the project is. So
Mm,
they're on a sailboat in the fog, and all they can hear are bells ringing from buoys, but they don't have real-time reports on where they are from a labor utilization perspective or where they are from a budget perspective.
right.
Some companies keep that close to the vest and they don't share it with the project managers. Some companies just don't have a tool that provides that visibility. So we have
Absolutely.
to give them we have to give them the ability to see the shoreline so that they can navigate their way there.
Exactly. I need lights showing forward and I need some gauge to see where I'm at.
Yep, absolutely.
So we at Navigator are also passionate about learning, about reading. So books serve as powerful tools for that. What book are you currently reading that we can add to the Navigate Academy bookshelf?
So one that I just finished, which I think is applicable here, but in a lot of places, is from Ross Ellenhorn. It's called How We Change
Mm,
and 10 Reasons Why We Don't. So it's really written from a psychological perspective, but Brad, as you and I know from both our training and from our some of our software implementation goals with companies, change is hard. I often use the term change sucks.
Right.
And we often hear people, including ourselves, say we want to change, we want to do this, but then when it comes time to actually take the action, right, to move forward with the change, companies and individuals struggle. And in his book, Alan Horton really goes into some of the psychological reasons, whether it be safety or confidence, why people struggle to make that step forward. So for me, it was really eye opening, particularly with my coaching work. A lot of my clients in the coaching world say, I
Right.
want to do this, I want to grow into that. But when we outline the steps that they have to take, they stay still. This gives me some more information on how to help them refocus and really take action. I think it's applicable for
Great.
companies as well.
Well, I look forward to reading it. So thank you, Patrick, as always. You're a wise counsel and again, a good friend.
Thank you, Brad.